What's up everyone, my name is Anthony and in this video I'm going to be doing an update of the broader markets as well as some specific stocks that are really interesting to me right now and that I got a lot of requests to do. So first of all, just to start off, we're going to be looking at the broader markets, and as I said in my past video, I'm currently bullish on the markets and I'll go through exactly why that is and the technical analysis behind my claims. So to zoom out a little bit on the markets, just to give a background information on what we're seeing, we're generally in some bullish wave counts and they're nesting currently. So what that means is, let me go back to the 1 day time frame to zoom out really far. So in general, we're in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're in this fifth wave, bullish wave. And within this fifth wave, we keep nesting. And we're currently in a fifth wave of a fifth wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth wave up here, we're currently in this. So we're kind of in the last part of this bullish wave upwards, but there's still a lot of momentum to get out of this, and that's why I'm bullish. And so now if we zoom in onto the 3 minute time frame, this is currently just a subdivision of that fifth wave, and we're forming another impulse wave, and we're trying to target that fifth wave of this smaller degree fifth wave. And now this is where it gets interesting, because we have a 1, 2, and then a 3 somewhere up here, and then a 4, and then we're looking for this fifth wave target for the markets. So just from the technical analysis, we do see more upside in the future, and that's what I'm trying to get with some of the plays. And the technical analysis and the exact charting of this pattern right here is a little bit hard to decide right now, just because of the recent price action. But what we can do is we know that there's generally this consolidation pattern over here, as we're trading sideways up and down between this range, and that's very indicative of a fourth wave. So no matter what you label this count as, so say there's many possibilities that we could label this as. Like this is what I'm seeing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this whole thing is a third wave, and then we're coming down for a fourth wave consolidation, and then up for the fifth wave. So that's my preferred style of labeling. But some other analysis might say that this whole thing could be a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, and then we're coming up for a 5, like so. This is like not what I think is happening, but I've seen some people write this. It could be the case, but the main thing to know is that we're in this fourth wave. So no matter what you draw the wave count as, I can give you another example. So say we draw this whole thing as a fourth wave, and now we're coming up for a fifth wave. So no matter what you draw the count as, we're in a fourth wave with this consolidation, and we're looking to push up higher. So what we might expect price trajectory to look like is we dip down maybe a little bit to these levels and then push up to these levels up here. So regardless of what we're doing in this consolidation pattern right here, we're gonna push up to these levels as long as there's no really bad news or anything. Like it looks really bullish to me still. And when we push up for this fifth wave, the stocks along in the market will also follow in bullishness. So this is the exact same prediction for the triple Qs as well. And like I said, the wave count right here, labeling the very specific minute by minute details is not as important when you're in a consolidation pattern. So as you can see here, we're still consolidating and trading sideways. And I do see us pushing upwards into these price targets up here. And this is not to say that this is where we stop. This is just a high probability of us having some resistance at this level. We can keep pushing upwards, especially for fifth waves. We can keep going up and up. But for now, I'm just targeting some bullish momentum in the positive direction. So that's what I see in terms of SPY and triple Qs. And just to reiterate, the triple Qs follows in general the same wave count as SPY. So now I want to go into some specific stock picks that were highly requested. So first on the list is SKILLZ. And this is actually one of the stocks that I'm not bullish about. So in general, because I'm bullish on the markets, I'm bullish on pretty much every other stock. But in terms of this stock, I do see a bear count forming. And in general, when you do see these stocks with really high run-ups and then a significant pullback, this pullback can continue for a really long time. And so yeah, I would not expect this stock to go up much higher. We already had that really good pop for wave 4, which was expected. And now it looks like we're coming down for wave 5. And this is not to say that we could keep pushing up for the wave 4. Technically, they can go up to even to the 618 levels. But in terms of what I'm seeing right now, if I zoom in on the 1 hour time frame, I already see that kind of ABC structure forming for the correction. So we have that ABC upwards, and I actually haven't done this yet, but I'm going to take the extensions of the A wave down to the bottom, and it looks like so we hit that 0.786 level right for the C wave, and so we could technically keep going up to these levels, but I think that this is the top for skills at the moment. And if I look back to the 1-day time frame, and we look at this bear count forming, we have a 1, 2, an extended third wave down, and then we're coming up for the fourth wave right here. So I think that this could be the top, and then we're definitely coming down for a fifth wave to finish off this bear count. So if you're currently in calls on this stock, I would highly recommend probably getting out. I was actually thinking of doing puts on the stock, but right now my focus is on trading bullish momentum because the market is bullish right now. But yeah, this is just my opinion of skills. And yeah, I do see a bear count forming, and I would not be very bullish on the stock at the moment. So next on the list is NIO. And in terms of NIO, we have earnings coming out on Thursday, so that's really soon. And I do expect us to see some reaction to the earnings eventually. And in terms of the wave count, so in the most bearish count, so we have an A, B, C downwards for a correction, but we're still in the midst of forming that B wave upwards. So I do expect NIO to come up to these levels at least, and then possibly come down afterwards for the C wave. But right now I'm targeting this B wave upwards, and especially with earnings coming up and the market's generally bullish, we should see some gravitation towards these levels. But if we don't see any run up towards earnings, I would definitely hesitate towards holding options through the event, because as you know, implied volatility drops after earnings are released. So yeah, for those of you holding NIO options, I would highly recommend getting out before earnings, unless you really believe that they're going to go up enough that it covers the implied volatility drop in your options. So that's my opinion on NIO. Still bullish for the B wave, and I do expect us to gravitate towards some of these targets in the future. So now next on the list is GE, or General Electric. And in terms of this stock, I'm incredibly bullish for the fifth wave of this stock, just because we have a very clear impulsive wave forming. So a 1, 2, a 3, consolidation 4 forming right here, and then a push up for the fifth wave. And even with a slightly red market day, we see a huge bullish candlestick wick forming on GE. So for those of you not familiar with candlestick analysis, when you do have something forming like this, so a really long candlestick wick at the bottom here, this means price tried to go lower but failed to. So that means there's a lot of buyers stepping in to cover for any dip buys in the stock. So generally when you see something that looks like a hammer like this is extremely bullish. And with the sheer length of this candlestick wick, this confirms my bullish bias towards the stock. And when we go up for the fifth wave, which is what I'm expecting, I do see us hitting possibly 15, anywhere from 15, 16, and 17 on the stock. And that's just from Fibonacci trend-based extension levels. And I'm currently in option plays on the stock. I did buy a little bit. I bought like 2 or 3 options before earnings, and I'm planning to continue adding into my position as we move upwards into the stock. And because GE is relatively slow moving, I recommend taking longer dated calls, such as in late May, so that you have time for this to go up, especially since fifth waves are a little bit slow. But yeah, I do see a very high probability chance of us hitting these targets up here. So, and today's price action just confirms the bullishness of the stock. So that's it for General Electric. And now I want to go into some cryptocurrency, so Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin, in my opinion, is doing a very predictable wave count. So I'm going to zoom out to the weekly time frame. So this is going back to the history of Bitcoin, to the very beginning when it was formed. And so when we look at the wave count, we have this wave 1 spike upwards, then a significant wave 2 retracement, and now we have this extended wave 3 formation up here. So this whole movement up here was a wave 3, and as you can see, it's very extended. So we can when it's extended, we can subdivide this wave 3 into another impulsive wave. And when we do that, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So let me go down to the daily chart to look more closely at that. So in terms of the fifth wave, we have something called an ending diagonal. And an ending diagonal is very common in fifth waves, especially for a fifth wave of a third wave like we're seeing in Bitcoin. And what happens is price tries to go higher, but then ultimately fails out of this rising wedge, because rising wedge patterns are bearish. And this is simply because when you're in a rising wedge pattern, you have to fight against a really strict lower trend line and a really strict upper trend line. And it's really hard for price to stay within these zones for a while. So that's why you typically have rising wedge patterns be in waves of 5. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I said, and then we fall out, and we usually have a retouch of this trend line. And then once it fails, we bounce down, and we kind of just consolidate here for the wave 4. So this is what I expect for Bitcoin. I expect us to possibly come up to touch this trend line, fail, and then come down, and then consolidate for the wave 4. And then we'll push up for a wave 5, maybe later this year. But wave 4s are very, very long and painful. They're just strict sideways movement. So that's what I expect from cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in general. And yeah, so after this consolidation, depending on how long we consolidate, that will determine how much we push up for the 5th wave. And that will be an impulsive move upwards. So overall, cryptocurrencies are not, I'm not bullish on them, but I'm also not bearish on them. So this is just going to be sideways for a little bit. And then once we finish this consolidation, then I'll be very bullish on them for the 5th wave upwards. So that's just going to be my quick overview of the broader stock markets, as well as some specific stock picks. And once again, I'll keep you guys updated in the YouTube as well as in the Discord with exactly how every play is going and how the markets are continually doing with price action given to us. So that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.